What's going on, America? This is Kevin from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And I was going to make a video last night concerning the hype that's been thrown out there thus far about, President Trump's comments about whether he would accept information from a foreign power. But it was cold. That's right. The weather backslid on us. I don't know what happened. Summer was here and then it just backslid. Just decided to go back to winter for a hot second. Do we need to pray for summer? Summer need to come in and confess. I was living right, keeping everybody warm, and then all of a sudden I start getting tempted, man, by the breeze. And I just took one little puff of the breeze, and then I started getting cold. I remember how it felt to be cold. And then I just went all the way back. And I'm sorry, but I'm ready to get back in rehab. I'm ready to get back. It needs to get back in rehab because since summer has started, we've only had maybe like 4 or 5 warm days, and I don't like it. Nobody's consulting with me about this. It's global warming. Anyway, so, but yeah, everybody lost their minds yesterday. The liberal media is the result of Donald Trump. The Democrats are the result of Donald Trump. The man that they hate, they actually elevate by overreacting every single time, and every single thing he says is a national crisis. This right here amounts to treason. This is preposterous. This is ridiculous. It's coming up with words. It's ridiculous. I can't believe this man would even suggest that. And I'm thinking to myself, that is the Donald Trump I know and love, who keeps it 100% real. Because all of these idiots who act as if this was the worst thing ever said, know that they would take oppositional research, and probably have, by any person or any company or any country that gives it to them. Perfect example of that would be, Hillary Clinton, the DNC, them sending people to Ukraine, all of these things. Of course, paying for the dirty dossier, which they knew the information so-called was coming from Russia, but they didn't care. See, now, I will say this before I play this clip. I think Donald Trump has positioned himself when he kind of said, I would listen, because remember when Rudy Giuliani was suggesting going over, I think it was to the Ukraine, to find out what's going on with Joseph Biden and all of that stuff, and his son, and everybody lost their mind. You can't do that. Well, if some information about Joe Biden comes to the United States that could be damaging to Joe Biden, well, Trump said it right there. He said, look, I would listen. And if it was bad, I'd take it to the FBI, which we all know Joseph Biden was involved in some shenanigans. So, yeah, if that happens and somebody brings that information to the president, he said what he'd do. Give it to me. Here, I'm going to give it to the FBI. Joseph Biden was into some shenanigans. FBI, take care of it. Now, with that being said, let's listen to this clip off of Tucker Carlson, and then I'll respond to this crazy response. Now, you know what? I'll get into that in a second. Go ahead. Let's see.
Your campaign this time around, if foreigners, if Russia, if China, if someone else offers you information on an opponent, should they accept it or should they call the FBI?
I think maybe you do both. I think you might want to listen. There's nothing wrong with listening. If somebody called from a country, Norway, we have information on your opponent. Oh, I think I'd want to hear it.
Do you want that kind of interference in our elections?
It's not an interference. They have information. I think I'd take it. If I thought there was something wrong, I'd go maybe to the FBI. If I thought there was something wrong.
Now, I don't see what the problem is. Anybody, if somebody come up to you and say, listen, I have to tell you something, okay? What are you going to do? Don't tell me just because you're a foreigner and from another country. I don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. That's not interference. President Trump said he didn't say, I'm going to go look for a foreign entity to pay them to get information. I'm going to say, hey, anybody got dirt on Joe Biden or Bernie Sanders out there? He said, if somebody comes to him, meaning you're minding your own business, you know how many people came up and done confessed to me or told me stuff that I didn't go looking for? I listened. I may not have responded. I just sat there like, okay, thanks for telling me. I appreciate that. That doesn't mean Just because they're from a foreign country, soon as they open their mouth and say, I have to tell you something, you got to check in like, well, first of all, is it any dirt on my opponent? Because if that's the case, I can't listen. La, 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 la. I can't hear you. Blah, 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 blah. Well, I mean, what are they talking about? That's not interference in an election. They didn't say, hey, look, I'm a spy and my whole goal and objective is to penetrate the United States and this and that. Hey, heard something bad about your boy Joe. You want to know the information or not? Then you verify if it's true or not. And then they're trying to make it seem as if this comment is directed towards hostile. See, they never just say, notice he said Norway, all right? But they want to flip it and make it seem like, well, obviously he's probably referring to China or Russia or Iran or somebody, North Korea. Couldn't be just friend, countries to say, hey, look, I'm cool with America. I ain't trying to start a war. I ain't trying to be a spy, but I do have some intel about Joe Biden that you might want to hear. I mean, sure, I'll listen to it, and then decide what I want to do. But the second thing is this. Why does he have George Snuffleupagus up in the White House anyway? Anybody from ABC, MSNBC, CNN, no, bad, no. They're not allowed near the White House. I would be like, yo, you could come in, do your following me around daily press thing, but no one-on-ones. No, I'm not going to spend time with you. That is like inviting the fox into the hen house. President, much as I love him, unless he had a diabolical plan concerning allowing George Snuffleupagus to follow him around, I don't think it was a good idea to have him up in peace anyway. Anyway, let's listen to the media's reaction. Here's
the scenario. Norway calls and tells you something embarrassing about Beto O'Rourke. Maybe he wears a wig, or maybe those big Bobby Kennedy teeth of his are actually dentures. Who knows what kind of dirt the Scandinavians have on Beto? But you're happy to hear it no matter what it is, because why wouldn't you be? Plus, it's kind of amusing. Big mistake. Guess what, pal? You just committed treason, a death penalty offense.
Dun, dun, dun.
Accepting assistance from a hostile foreign power like Russia is treasonous behavior.
What Donald Trump
Now, wait a minute. Hakeem, okay? So, brother number one said accepting information from a hostile entity like Russia is treason. Now, here's my thing. Is he talking about Hillary Clinton? Is he talking about the DNC? Because, last I checked, Trump did not accept any information from Russia. In fact, the Mueller report said that they resisted all the attempts by Russians to give them information. But you know who did accept it? Hillary Clinton, the DNC, the FBI. They actually used that fake garbage from Russia to try to go after Trump on some stupid investigation. So what is Hakeem talking about? They don't even think before they speak. And then, of course, you got Lou, the guy who Candace Owens ripped up. Let's hear what he got to say.
Un-American, unpatriotic, and unbelievable.
He's so
un-American, unpatriotic, and unbelievable. Yeah, right. See, once again, statements like that make people say, are they kidding me? Trump said a reasonable statement. Like, they came to me. I'm like, well, what do you got to say? And then if I evaluate it and it sounds ridiculous, far-fetched, or seedy, then I would let the FBI know. But you don't say, now listen, if this is going to be something bad about somebody that's running against me, I don't even want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Come on, man. Did they not did they forget that Adam Schiff was on the phone with two Russians who he thought was Russians asking for information? They came to him. He accepted. Oh, yeah, let's get together. I'm going to get back with you so we can meet somewhere and find out now. Wait, what are these things? Naked pictures of Donald Trump. Oh, good. I like that. Okay, we're going to get with you. Okay, and then followed up. And so when you see the hypocrisy coming out of the left and the Democrats with this fake moral outrage, it makes you want to throw up in your mouth. All right, so now here's the other dude that brought out the chickens, okay? Yeah, he brought out the chickens. Let's see what he got to say.
Last week it was go to the Mars and forget the moon. A month ago it was go to the moon. He ought to go to the moon. Ralph Cramden ought to send him and not Audrey Meadows.
I think the president's answer to George Stephanopoulos yesterday underscores the importance of moving forward with impeachment.
Everybody
Now that was Beto O'Rourke.
The country should be totally appalled by what the president said last night.
Totally appalled. You know, you've reached a moment of maximum ridiculousness when the people who reflexively side with, I don't know, the government of Guatemala over our own citizens decide to tell you what's patriotic or not.
Thank you, Tucker.
That's un-American, says Ted Lieu. Hilarious. But if you think that reaction was hysterical, wait till you see how the talking head community responded.
Give it to us, Tucker.
Pure pandemonium.
He is a traitor to the pillars of our democracy. That's what that interview shows.
What Donald Trump...
Traitor to the pillars of our democracy. That's what that interview shows. You mean kind of like the Democrats and the upper people in the FBI and CIA that tried to undo a duly elected president? Or you mean how the Democrats, namely Hillary Clinton, with the Uranium One deal, selling out our uranium to Russia, and President Obama talking about I have more, flexibility after the election. You mean how the Democrats know that we have a problem at the border and Congress can fix it and their job is to keep Americans safe and deal with these issues, but they would rather sell us out, our economy out, sell our safety out just for power and gain? You mean kind of like that? That's what I was thinking. But apparently this lady from CNN, she's thinking something else. Let's hear this next guy.
This was the founding fathers' worst nightmare.
I've run out of adjectives to react.
John, this is John Clapper or whatever his name is. Unbelievable. This guy, I ran out of adjectives. How about you need to run out of the country because what's about to happen to you concerning what you did during the election? So let's hear what he has to say.
To this reaction to this.
If any other president had said anything resembling this, Republicans in Congress would have understandably, called him a traitor.
No, it is unthinkable what he said. It disintegrates at the very core of what our democracy is about.
This is the definition of collusion.
I think it is treasonous. I think it is compromising. I think it is dangerous. I think it is wrong. It's illegal.
So now, this is the stuff, and I love Tucker Carlson. This is the stuff that us conservatives sit back, just like Tucker did, and laugh at the left and laugh at the media. And they wonder why their ratings are horrible, because they overreact so much and they embellish so much that it comes across as a soap opera, comes across as people being melodramatic and putting on a performance just to drive a narrative. And so it doesn't even seem realistic. Any common sense person that would have been sitting there and not been swayed by, I say, the garbage coming from the left or the right. Just a common sense person, never heard about Democrats and Republicans. They beamed down from some other planet and they hear that statement. They go, I don't see what the problem is. He just said, it ain't like they're coming to him saying, we're a spy or we're whatever. They just said, hey, man, you might want to, here's some information about so-and-so. And I don't see what the problem is. Unless that information is a threat to national security, then what's the big deal? But, of course, when you're talking about the left, always over the top. And so now the president's a traitor, treasonous, and this and that. This only further drives people towards Donald Trump when it comes down to 2020, because they're saying, y'all are being unreasonable. Y'all are using anything to just inflate and blow up in efforts to demonize Trump and try to drive him out of office in 2020 when everything else is going well. Y'all trying to mess up a good thing. Now, you've been listening to Kevin and Kevin's Corner, all of that drama. It's just treasonous. Anyway, find me every Wednesday, 7:30 live in Kevin's Corner on YouTube. And also, don't forget, check out Extreme Tees, my sponsor. You'll love their products. Click on something you like, put my name in the promo code, you'll get a 20% discount. Check out my radio blog talk show every Wednesday night, 7:30. And if you want to donate to Kevin and Kevin's Corner, there's a link in the bottom to do that as well. And find me on Facebook and the Twitter. Hit like, share, subscribe, and the notification button. God bless. See you next time at Kevin's Corner.